Well, hello, everybody, including the censors. I just want to let you all know that the new health conversation, told you this before. We do not make claims. We don't do anything that's unsafe. Everything that we talk about, everything we show with the audience is backed by 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. This is really important because I don't see anybody else on all of social media that has one shred of medical evidence. We also have written 4 best-selling books. So everything that we quote is either from medical journals, it's in the public domain so everybody can see it. Nothing is made up, nothing is fabricated. We don't make claims, okay? So just so you understand, we're in a position to really, really help people with real medical proof. So hello, Sonia. Hello, Life is Beautiful. Hello, Bertram Wallace. So are you tired of yo-yo dieting? I'm going to show you right away something that is not a diet it's going to make every diet out there obsolete. Let's just start with this. How about 21 pounds, 38 inches in just 30 days with no exercise? And you can look at her, look at her hips and waist and look at how much she shrank with no loose skin. And by the way, in all these pictures that I'm going to show you in this new protocol, no one was allowed to exercise. So that's without exercise, if you can believe that. Kiesha joined, Nini joined, Lean Machine joined. Now, I'm going to show you the second picture. This is Julie. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. And look at her whole body shrank from her shoulders to her stomach to her legs. That's not fake. Now, you may not think it's the same woman, but it is the same woman. How many of you would say hello, Bertram, hello, let's see who else just joined us. Let's see, CJ, Tax Mary, user 218. So how many of you would say, if you were honest about it, if you wanted to lose just 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself on any of these diets? What we're going to prove to you today, we're not going to give you any opinions, okay? Let me just start out. Everything we're going to show you is backed by science for the first time ever. Real medical proof, not hyperbole, not a scientific paper, not somebody's opinion, okay? With all due respect, I see these doctors and chiropractors and dietitians and nutritionists and fitness people and weight loss coaches and health coaches coming on. If what they were talking about had any relevance in the medical world, they'd have peer-reviewed human trial studies, of which they have none. And you're all going on these diets. I mean, I hate to tell you, but the diets you're going on by counting calories are actually making you unhealthy. We're going to get into all of that. Now, I know a lot of you are impatient and you want me to tell you how she did it. Just give me a couple minutes and we'll do that, okay? Now, the next picture I'm going to show you is the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, you be your own judge. Is it the same woman or did I Photoshop it? That's exactly 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. Now, would anybody like to put in the chat, do you think it's the same woman? Hello, Mary. Hello, CJ. Hello, let's see, who else? User 218, Sabrina, Pranon, and Linda. And again, if we can get some likes already up there if you like what you're hearing already, please tap. What's different and unique about this podcast, and it's live, by the way, it's not pre-recorded. This is not an infomercial. This is scientific proof of what these are the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world for 40 years to create what you're looking at here. And what's amazing about it, there's no products. They don't have any products. They don't sell anything. They're scientists. They did this using food and 2 new methods of consuming the food. But again, I'd love for anybody to say, hello, Dr. B. You were on the other day, I believe, anyway. But what I want everybody to understand is that none of this is Photoshopped. I know it might be out of the norm and you think, oh my God, that's impossible. How could you lose that much weight in that time? That has to be unhealthy. No, it's not, because we have 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies proving that it's 100% safe. As a matter of fact, when they measured water, they lost no water weight, and on average they were gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with absolutely no exercise at all. But look at her waist here, look at her arms, look at her face. She literally is shrinking. You can see it happening. And thank you all for the likes right away. Let's get this thing really going. So Ken M joined. Hello, Dr. B. Oh, another person saying hello to you. And then let's just take a look. Now, here's from the medical perspective, okay? Now, I know that looks incredible, 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in a month. I think he would tell you that as great as that was, that's not the biggest thing for him. I know we got medical people in here now. Look at the lab work. Look at the A1C. That went from 8.4 to 6.4 triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. If any of the people would like to comment, I'd love to hear their comment about that change in the medical results. See, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. That's like a throw-in. Another huge component of this, a huge component, is that it combats this new medical syndrome. It's called TDOS. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Many of you have heard of metabolic syndrome or syndrome X. Okay, what does TDOS stand for? T is for toxicity, the D is for nutritional deficiency, the O is for being overweight, S is for stress. Every person in the world is storing chemicals inside their visceral fat. The reason you're seeing his stomach basically go down that much is the body, as we're ingesting these chemicals, I'm talking about herbicides and pesticides and Scotchgard and Teflon and flame retardants and things that are in our everyday lives. As those enter our body now, we now know that once the liver can't handle it, our livers are overwhelmed. They estimate about 35% of America has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That's not from drinking alcohol. So what they proved is that as the body stores the chemical in the fat cell expands. Don't let anybody tell you that you burn fat. That's just nonsense, just not rubbish. You're born with a certain amount of fat cells. You die with a certain amount of fat cells. The only way you can remove fat cells is liposuction or surgery. But the fat cells can expand or contract. That's why so many people complain. It's not just how much weight they have, but how much fat they have in their body. Well, you can see right there in these studies. Okay, they did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving this particular protocol, which is called R2M, race to maintenance, was helping the body get rid of the chemicals of the body. That's why you see all these people with them shrinking. When you look at someone like April, you can see her whole body shrink. I mean, how did we shrink her face? How did we shrink her arms? I mean, I know you can think it's Photoshop to AI. We don't need to do that. The reason we don't is we're the only ones on all the internet, social media, with peer-reviewed human trial studies. Not scientific papers. These are published in like the Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, the Nutrition Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition, Nature Communications. It's the #1 journal in the world. This is not some rinky-dink little deal. These research, it took them 40 years to create what she experienced. All right, now I'm going to share with everybody what they did. So probably part of what I'm going to tell you is going to shock you. I hope it does. Calorie counting is the most ridiculous thing we've ever come up with. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, give me the definition of a calorie while I'm explaining everything to you. I want to know, you're counting calories, why? Do you even know what a calorie is? Do you know why you'd be counting calories, okay? We'll come back to that in just a moment. So the researchers, here's what they did. After 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people. The conclusion they came to, that didn't matter what the diet was. Hell, you could lose weight on the Dunkin' Donut diet. I'm not kidding you. But what kind of weight are you losing? And what they found is, although on whatever diet it was, people lost weight initially. Be careful of the word initially. In almost every case, 2/3 of those on any diet, gained back more weight than they lost. And the reason that was happening was really pretty simple. Although people were concentrating, even the research were concentrating on calorie counting, they missed the most important point. And that is our body, I got medical people in here, it only runs on nutrition. It doesn't run on calories. It doesn't even know what the hell a calorie is. And what happens is you have a minimum amount of nutrition that the brain, if there's a minimum amount, all the organs get fuel. So the brain, the heart, the kidney, the liver, the spleen, etc. But they run on nutrition. They don't run on calories, okay? Let's get that out of the way. When you're going on a diet, what's happening is you drop the amount of food you're consuming. What else you're dropping? Nutrition. That triggers the starvation mode in the brain. The brain literally thinks you're starving to death because from a nutritional standpoint of view, you actually are starving to death. So the brain reacts by doing what? It immediately shuts down the access to the fuel stored inside your fat cell and turns to your muscles for fuel and does two of the most unhealthy things to you. One, yes, it slows down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on these diets and it slows down, then you plateau, then you come off the diet and you gain everything back and then you look for a new diet. But the worst thing it does, this is the worst thing it's doing. By losing lean muscle, you're literally slowing down your own immune system. What in the heck are we doing? So the research said, wait a minute, maybe this, they basically gave up after 40 years and just said, we got to have something, we got to start from scratch. So here's what they did. They said, We believe, as the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, we can figure out new food combinations. We're going to ignore necessarily the quantity. They're going to eat they're going to definitely eat less food than they normally do, but we're going to select foods that have huge amounts of nutrition in the smallest amount of volume of food. Okay, got it, everybody? So they created a grocery list that she got and everybody got: proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, right? But instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes, because their whole emphasis was, we want more nutrition. That was the number one thing. But notice, only 30% of what she consumed came from the grocery store. And she got that list, and you'd get that list if you do it. As a matter of fact, the research is developed. It's called the Blueprint for Success, which it gave to all the patients that went through this. And all those yellows there are instructive videos daily. And these researchers are created, they don't have any product, there's no product to buy. They don't have a company. They don't have a grocery store. It's not like, oh, go to the grocery store. No, you go to your normal grocery store and you'll have a list that you'll get in this Blueprint for Success. But the other 70% she consumed, here's what made it work, came from other researchers who had, for the last 20 years, gone around the world to these remote areas in places like Russia and Mongolia and Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where they found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities as far as the volume went, right? So now they had the ingredients, right? What she was going to eat in a month. 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these exotic foods. Well, then they invented, she had to eat. So what did they do? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Do you hear me, everybody? 4 meals a day. Starting with these exotic foods, I call them exotic foods that come from around the world, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from the exotic foods around the world. Now, don't be telling me, oh my God, you're going to skip a meal. No, then don't even do it. Why wouldn't you do it exactly the way they did it in the medical trials if you want that kind of a result? Then 2 days a week, she did a brand new concept called intermittent nutritional. Notice the word nutritional. Fasting. It sounds like an oxymoron. It's not. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these food groups around the world. But this time she had ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half over the course of an 8 to 10, well, no, it's about 12 hours is what it turned out to be. Do you know, in the studies at the end of a month, people, they measured it or reported that people's hunger went down 41%. In 2 or 3 weeks, people's cravings were all but gone in just a couple of weeks. But here was the big deal. Blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down dramatically. There were diabetics on this, monitored by the medical doctors, not by the researchers. And for the first time ever, insulin came down 41% in a month. Talk about insulin resistance. Talk about type 2 diabetes. At a minimum, they were massively reducing the amount of medication they needed, because they didn't need as much because their insulin came down that much, right? I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true. But here was the big one, again, for my medical people, for everybody. We now know, according to the medical world, that inflammation, they believe, is the underlying cause or a major contributing factor of disease out there. For the first time ever, they measured inflammation, everyone. It came down 25% in 30 days. It's not something I'm making up. It's in the medical studies that you can actually go and see. You notice the website right above my head there in blue, the new health conversation. It's free to go there. We won't contact you. Why do we need to contact you? There's the medical proof. And you'll notice right above, free coaching. Well, how do you get free coaching? Scroll down and sign up for free coaching. No, it's not a gimmick. It's free coaching the whole time. But the key to the coach is this: to get your weight off you and then teach you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what you should be concentrating on. That's how come, for example, that picture is 8 or 9 years old. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. And if we look at any of the people here, like if we look at Julie, I mean, everyone, that's 35 pounds in 37 days. Now, you can think it's a different woman, or somehow we faked that we shrunk her body. We didn't touch the pictures. I understand you're all struggling with this. And the sad part is 99% of you on this podcast, you're going to go back to whatever you were doing before you came on this podcast. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean. None of them work. Oh, you think I'm just making this up? Let's go and look at the medical proof diets are a miserable failure. Here's a big study just published from Medicare. Not my opinion, Medicare. Okay? So even for my health professionals, listen to this. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. They went on to say, our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calories in, calories out restrictive diets to assess whether these diets have are effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any of these diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Even you health professionals, what are you recommending to people? Are you putting them on keto, paleo? It doesn't work. Do you get it? Doesn't work. Now, I'll give you more evidence, okay? Well, I mean, this is how low the standard is. This is a huge study done in the Journal of the American Medical Association, right? This was a 12-month study, and in the study, they looked at 48 unique randomized trials, 7,286 people over 12 months. And the title of the study was Comparison of Weight Loss Among Named Diet Programs in Overweight and Obese Adults. What they literally did, they named all the diets. Keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, fasting, the Cornish diet, the zone diet, lose weight for your blood type, Jenny Craig, Weight Watch. They named them by name. After 12 months, the weight loss difference between the most amount of weight loss on any diet out of 7,000 people and the least amount of weight loss in a year was 10 ounces. What are you all doing? This is crazy. And what was the weight loss? 16 pounds in a year, and 25 to 40% of what they lost was lean muscle mass. Does that sound to you like diets are working? Look, no one's arguing. We're not arguing, certainly, because we're not. It's not even our research. We're the researchers of the researchers. And all we're doing is, we're not making any claims. We're reading from the medical proof. Now, maybe that's not good enough for you. You'd rather listen to a celebrity, somebody, nice people on social media. Why aren't they showing you any medical proof? Because they don't have any. No, that's it. Look, here's what I can tell you. I've been doing this 23 years. I'm a nutritional researcher, written 4 best-selling books, did 20 shows on PBS. Was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America, did over 1,500 live lectures in hospitals and medical schools, in towns. They even flew me to China. I was a keynote speaker 2 years in a row at Autism One in Chicago, one of the biggest autism conferences in the world. Do you know, for 22 of my 23 years in the medical world, you know what that meant to them? Zero. Why? Because they were not peer-reviewed human trial studies. So if any of you are health professionals and you're referring people to anything other than peer-reviewed human trial studies, now that they're available, why wouldn't you do that? Why would you take an opinion from people? And I see, people come on, there's surgeons that are coming on and giving you, whatever it is, lipocene, or they talk about leptin and whatever, but they don't have any proof. It's all a theory. That doesn't matter. That doesn't count. I mean, as a matter of fact, to show you how well is all this working, here's Johns Hopkins Medical School study. Study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese by 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, what are you doing? You're doing what you know. You can't, we're not here to convince you or sell you. The reason we set up, it's right here. I'm going to show it to you again. Hold on. This is the free, right above my head in blue. You all can go there. It's free. See it there in blue, the new health conversation. It's a free medical website. If you go there, we won't contact you. Why should we need to contact you? That's the medical proof. There's nothing I could say that would overshadow the medical proof. And then it says right above, free coaching. It's not a gimmick. You get coached for free the whole time. Who else is offering you that? But again, what do you really, do you want this? The daughter of a friend of mine, that's not Photoshop. Maybe think it's a different woman. A lot of people come on and say they tricked me. It's a model. They moved somebody else in. No, we didn't. I understand your skepticism. It's just so sad because your skepticism is driven by your own experience. I get that. But you haven't done this. Nobody had done this up until these studies. Some of them started 13 years ago. And when you do a peer-reviewed human trial medical study on human beings, it costs a lot of money. They take a long time. Why won't these other programs initiate these studies? Here's why. Because when you submit your data to the journal, if they decide they're going to publish your results, they don't analyze it. They send it out to other world-class experts, medical doctors and scientists who only have one job. You know what that job is? To discredit what you're trying to claim. That's why no drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. Well, they didn't have 1 or 2 or 3. They got 10 in the biggest medical journals in the world, validating this is safe. First and foremost, this is completely safe because they did the measurements. Do you know in the first month, people lost no water weight and they gained on average 6 to 9% lean muscle? Now, here's the other thing. Visceral fat, that's the fat around your organs. In 8 weeks, across the board with no exercise allowed, that shrank by 33%. I mean, the same number of fat cells. I explained that before. You don't burn fat. That's just, anybody telling you that it's nonsense. It's not. No. That doesn't happen. Now those fat cells can shrink or they can expand. But what do you all? I'd love for someone to comment about that picture. Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's the same woman? No matter what I tell you, what do you think? So lots of people: Marinette, Tamara, Jenny, Michael, Liz, Jenny Ann. The calm lion, Gabriella. So again, thank you all for the likes. We're already at 1,000. We're only 20 minutes into this. Come on, let's get some more taps on the screen. Who would like to ask me a question? I know there's a lot of new people on here. Just please, somebody say yes if you want me to go through again. How in the world is this possible? Is it safe? Is it crazy? Is this photoshopped? Is it some unrealistic thing? That is absolutely Michelle joined. This is 100% real. Even this, for any of you, be honest, to lose 20 pounds, any of you, on the best, hire any trainer, a fitness coach, a lifestyle coach, whatever. In the best circumstance, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? See, my problem is, I got a lot of problems with this one. The more proof I show you, the more skeptical you become. You've never seen, people keep trying to compare this to a diet. It's not a diet. It doesn't work like that. So again, so let's see, who else? Susan Clayton just joined and the Odyssey of just joined. Hello. And if I didn't say hello to you, it's not because I'm being rude. It's just I'm really constant. I've got so much data to give to all of you. And I know that you all have busy lives and you have short attention spans. That's just the world we live in. But my God, when you're talking about your own health, don't you think it's time? Don't you deserve? Take a pause. Just take a pause. Can you really take the chance that that is not real? I mean, if that's real, please explain to me why you'd go on any other kind of diet. This is not even a diet. I'd really like to know that because we can tell by how many people sign up for free coaching. See, if you go to that website, the website right there, see it in blue right above my head, the new health conversation. We're not going to contact you. There's no way we can get a hold of you. We've set it up that way. We want you to be comfortable that you can go there. But it's got the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world for 40 years, rated the top person in the world, who he and his team created this. And they don't have any products. They don't have a company. They're scientists. That interview, if you watch that interview, you'll go, oh my God, I'm off all diets. I want to do this. Because you know what's so great about this? It's totally sustainable. And when you look at something like an older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52.5 inches in a month, look at his stomach. Oh, they photoshopped that. We didn't Photoshop anything. I mean, that's the temptation for all of you to think, has anyone ever seen anything like that before? Hey, Natoya. Hello, Kia. Hello. Let's see, who else? Oh, I think I said hello to everybody else that I could see. Oh, Bubba Rose, thank you very much. Can we get some more taps on the screen? Let's get some more likes if you like the content. But I'd love anybody to comment. What do you think about that? 40 pounds in a month, 52.5 inches. And he's kept, this is 8 or 9 years ago, the picture. He's kept the weight up for 8 or 9 years. In these studies, some of the people from 13 years ago have kept their weight off. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. You all know you're going on diets and you yo-yo. That's what we were talking about here. Are you tired of yo-yo diets? Are you or not? Because all the medical proof says not only are you going to go back to where you started, but 2/3 are going to weigh more than when you started. Why are you going on a diet by counting calories? I know why, because that's what everybody tells you. Can anybody tell, am I wrong? Hello, Kat joined, Sherry joined, Jeff Sutton joined, Harleen. Can we get some more taps? Can we get some more taps? We're only at 1,000 likes. So who else is sharing this kind of information with you? Medical proof, not hyperbole. Nothing that I'm stating is my opinion, nor do I want you to believe me. That's what research is about. See, science doesn't have any emotions, unlike me, has no opinions, doesn't have any prejudice. It just is. The science is, how did she lose 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise? And look at, you think we faked her body? You think we photoshopped that? We didn't. Again, who else would like to know how in the world did she do this? So we got Chuchi, I think it is. Chuchi. I think that's it. Spaz X, ABZ. Hello to all of you. So is anybody curious about how is that even possible? It's not a diet. It has nothing to do with dieting. It has nothing to do with dieting. So I'd love to answer any questions for you, but I need to have a question that I can answer. So John Pira 4, I'm saying hi. So who would like to know how they did that? I mean, otherwise you're just looking at a picture. You don't understand what they went through to create that look. Or when you're talking about, that's 35 pounds in 37 days. Who would like to know how that happened? So Patty Saps, Fit Fate, Windy Chime, a lot of people coming on now. Can we get some more taps? We're stuck at 1,000 likes. All you do is tap on your screen and the likes, the hearts come up, and I see that you're enjoying the content. Otherwise, I might as well be talking to myself. I understand you're skeptical. I get it. You can't believe that you're thinking that's photoshopped or it's unhealthy or it's a different woman or whatever it might be. No, it's real. I'm going to repeat myself. How can you take the chance? What if that's real? Because it is. And then we provide, I'm going to put it in the chat down here for you at the bottom, you can go to this website, New Health Conversation. It's a free website. We won't contact you if you go there. The only thing there is the medical proof. But if you like what you see, you get to choose. You can scroll down and get a free coach the whole time. When I say the whole time, see, this is not a diet where there's a start and an end. This is not a destination. It's a journey. Once you've met where you want to be, then the coaches teach you how to maintain it for the rest of your life. That's why it's called R2M, Race to Maintenance. But how many of you are struggling with diets? How many, Summer's here, so everybody's, Jenny Steins, hello. Gigi joined. Hello, Pamela. Aren't you curious about how that's even possible? So let me do this. Okay, I'm going to explain it all to everybody. I know we have a lot of new people on, and for whatever reason, no. If you don't want to know, I guess you don't have to be on this podcast. Then go back to keto, paleo, meta, whatever you're on, the failed diets, because they all are failing. We're going to have, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School, we're going to have 86% of America overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Not 40 years, 4.5 years. Does that sound like the diet you're on is going to work long term? Because the evidence shows that 2/3 of you, on whatever diet you're on right now, you're going to weigh more than when you started in the long run. Why are you dieting in the first place? It just defies logic, but that's what people do, right? All right, so how did they do this? Well, the researchers who created it are the top weight loss researchers in the world for more than 40 years. 100 studied thousands of people, and they figured out why diets didn't work. It was pretty simple. The body runs on a minimum amount, not of calories. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. Do you know what a calorie is? So far, I asked earlier on, please someone give me put in the chat the definition of a calorie. In a year, 2 people have gotten the definition correct. So you're counting calories, you don't even know what they are. Why are you counting them? Guess who doesn't count calories, everybody? Your body. So this was not based on calories. This was based on nutrition. We have a minimum amount of nutrition that runs all the organs. When you go on a diet and you lower the amount of nutrition, the brain senses that and goes, wait a minute, we're starving to death here. And because you are from a nutritional standpoint. So what does it do? It immediately shuts down the access to the fuel stored in your fat cells and then begins to convert your muscles into fuel. Okay, well, that does 2 of the most unhealthy things you could ever do. One, yes, it slows down your metabolism, and that's why, you lose weight initially on these diets, and it slows to a trickle. Then all of a sudden you're on a plateau, and what you do, can't lose any more weight. So you quit the diet, come off the diet, you get everything back, and then you look for a new diet, right? But the other thing that happens when you're losing lean muscle mass is it also slows down your own immune system. So by going on this diet, fitting in your skinny jeans, your bikini, whatever it is for the summer, you're actually making yourself unbelievably unhealthy and very vulnerable to, you know, bad stuff because you've compromised your own immune system. So the researchers, what they said was this: we have to base everything on nutrition. Not only are we not going to go below the minimums that people are consumed, our goal would be to see, can we give people more nutrition in the same amount or less food? That was the theory. So they put together a grocery list, 30% of what she was going to buy from the grocery store. And you do the same thing. You go into a grocery store, here's your grocery list: proteins, fats, carbs, vitamins, fruits and vegetables, sorry. And instead of giving her calorie counts, they gave her serving sizes. Does everybody get this? So 30% of the food that she was going to consume came from the grocery store she bought. The other 70% comes from these other researchers, not us, not you, the researchers who created this. They don't have any products. They don't have a company. They're scientists. But these other researchers for more than 20 years had gone around the world to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition in places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. No herbicides, no pesticides, just these foods with huge amounts of nutrition, right? So now the researchers had the protocol, what people were going to consume. But the other part of it was, okay, how are they going to consume it? Again, revolutionary. They started out, they created a whole new concept called protein pacing. What the heck is that? 5 days a week, she and everybody else actually had 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. No food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. Can you imagine being on a diet and you get to have 4 meals a day? Can you even fathom that? Now, that was 5 days, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, they created something called intermittent nutritional. Notice the word nutritional. Nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating, none of that stuff. On those days, she had no food whatsoever from the grocery store. What? Yeah, no, wait. But only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time they let her and everybody else eat 8 times a day. What? Yes. She was having something about every hour and a half over the course of a day. Look at the results. Because, see, it wasn't based on calories. It had nothing to do with calories. It had to do with these nutrition. So the body was really happy. It didn't need that excess pounded food out the door. And then look at how much she shrank. And then you look at someone like, this is the daughter of a friend of mine. It's not Photoshop. Is it the same woman even? I'd love for all of you to tell me. She lost 60 pounds, 60 in 3 months. With, by the way, no one in these pictures was exercised. The researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier. So they eliminated it. And they're not against exercise. So anybody doing this, you can definitely do exercise. But part of the reason you get a coach is maybe the exercise you're going to do, at least in the very beginning, is a little bit less intense than maybe what you're doing now, because you're maybe doing it to try to lose weight, which, by the way, you do in the reverse. I mean, diet and exercise have never been proven, and never, ever, ever proven as a long-term weight loss strategy. Just no. I don't care what anybody says. The medical proof is there. We're now in a crisis situation. If we're going to, I mean, they're saying within maybe 30 years, close to 100% of America is going to be overweight or obese. You think the healthcare system is going to be able to support that? You think healthcare costs are expensive now? Do you know that Harvard Medical School said that being obese contributes to 40 known diseases? And for all the people out there that are struggling with the weight, I'm totally on your side. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy, and I loved her. So I went through fat shaming. So I don't think this has anything to do with that. This is about empowerment. This is about hope. This is about giving you something that's scientifically based, not some nice person giving you a great story with a whiteboard and all their credentials, and they don't have one shred of medical evidence. A huge part of my motivation is my own mom. This was over 24 years ago, called me up one day before I was a researcher and said, you know, Peter, I have a really big wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend 24 hours thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. I loved my mom. My mom did about every diet there was. I'm not kidding you. The grapefruit diet, the cabbage diet, OptiFast, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem. She'd cut diets out of the National Enquirer. I understand now, I didn't then. She'd lose 20 pounds and gain 25 back. Then she'd lose 20 and gain 30 back. I believe she dieted herself to death. I really believe that. I can't prove it, but I believe it. And our job here, we're not here to sell you anything. We're not here to convince you. We're here to give you education. Well, even more than that, just to make you aware of what's available. If you want, we created a free website for you. The new, see it right above my head in blue, the new health conversation. That's free to go there. And we won't contact you if you go there. The only way we'll contact you is if you scroll down and get a free coach. And the coaching's free the whole time. Basically, what you're doing is buying food for a month, not from us. You have to eat. People say, what's the product? There's no product. There's no product. There's no lotion, potion, pill, injection, shot, whatever it might be. But the results are just, look at Andy. How about 45 pounds and 60 inches in a month? But the main thing, look at his lab work, his A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. His bad cholesterol, 120 to 59 in 30 days. Not 30 weeks, 30 days. I know you probably think this is fake. It's not, it's real. It's absolutely 1,000,000% real. How many of you, if you're honest, I asked that question before, no one put it in the chat. If you wanted to lose 20 pounds, pick any of these celebrity trainers, anybody online, any diet you want. How long would you be happy if you could lose 20 pounds? How long would you give yourself? I'd love for anybody to put in the chat. Wow, we got lots of new people. OTR Jason, Osman, Suzanne, user 623, Rabbit, Crystal, Desmond, GGG2226. Hey, can we get some more likes? We've been stalled at 1,000 now for about 20 minutes. If you like the don't tap if you don't like the content. If you don't like the content, you're probably on the wrong podcast, because this isn't some simplistic little, lose 20 pounds in a month and it's going to be mostly fat. That's a total lie, by the way, when they're telling you things like that. Where's the medical proof? They don't have any. So who has, let me read to you from another big study about diets and why they don't work. Here, the title of this study is The Science Behind Why Diets Don't Work. Our researchers reviewed more than 30 long-term studies, calories in, calories out, and realized that proving going on a diet actually causes weight gain. Did you hear what I just said? Going on a diet causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for the long-term weight loss, but it is associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. I'm not making this, that's what you're doing to yourselves. 2/3 of you are going to end up more than when you started. Now, when we've got people like Harvard Medical School, I have it right here, stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School saying this. Don't believe me, right? They said, this is Harvard. Most people have been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories, specifically 3,500, and you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. Harvard Medical School goes on to say, the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to take a different approach by concentrating what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's what these researchers did. They don't have anything to do with Harvard. This is Harvard Medical School telling you what? Stop counting calories. And you're all still going to do it. We know, because of tiny amount of people compared to how many thousands are on these podcasts that actually sign up for free coaching. What are we doing wrong? What are we doing wrong? We're coaching you for free, and you got the opportunity to lose 5 pounds a week or more. So Jods, J-O-D-Z, hello, and Luis, hello. I'd love for anybody to make a comment. What do you think about? What do you think about her losing 21 pounds and 38 inches in just 30 days? Is it fake? Did we Photoshop it? Is it AI? Here's another big study. Title, Why You Shouldn't Count Calories. Again, not my opinion. All right? I'm just reading from the medical proof. The truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. Our research has found that while counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people we studied counted or restricted their calories gained back more weight than they lost. They went on to say, counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, 2 factors that are known to cause weight gain. Look, on a diet, are you in a great mood? What are you thinking about all the time? Food, food, food. But see, the whole problem is, even if you're not on a diet, and even if you try and eat whole foods and eat healthy, our food in North America is all but nutritionally bankrupt, whether you know it or not. I'll give you one quick example. A bowl of spinach from 1953, Cornell University estimates the iron levels in spinach have decreased from 1953 to the year 2000 to about 4,300% less iron than they had in 1953. Do you ever wonder why you eat and then you're still like, an hour later, then you're hungry again? It has nothing to do with the quantity of the food you're consuming. It has only to do with the quality, the nutritional density. It's as if you could go to the gas station today to fill up if you got a gas-powered car, and pump number 1 says this gallon will take you 20 miles. Pump number 2 says this gallon will take you 100 miles. That's what the researchers figured out. It wasn't about how much food. It was only about how much nutrition could you get. And can you get that amount of nutrition in a level that wouldn't cause you to gain weight? That's what they did. I know it sounds too simple. And all of you are torturing yourselves on these diets. And let me read the medical reason why counting calories doesn't work. Again, not my opinion, all right? The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is it ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the calories in, calories out formula can support people achieving weight loss initially, there's that word initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures that the lost weight will be regained and more. This is a scientific explanation. This isn't a celebrity telling you how you can lose weight, or an athlete, or a doctor. All nice people. I'm not going to disparage any of them. But if we just look at what's going on, you're part of the 86% of you, whatever diet you're on now, you're going to weigh less in the long run than you do now. I'm sorry to tell you that. That's what all the studies show. Study after study after study after study now. Now, I know that the big rage now is the shots. So let's talk about the shots for a moment. First of all, I'm not against the shots. They are helping diabetics. So in case of diabetic, they got to have Ozempic or semaglutide or glucophage or metformin or even insulin, right? But this is a study done by the New England Journal of Medicine. You all can go look it up. This is in the public domain. The New England Journal of Medicine, once weekly semaglutide, that's one of the GLP-1s, along with Ozempic and triepazide, et cetera, in adults that are overweight or obese. This was 68 weeks, everyone. That's a year and 4 months. Got it? After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds. And of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. And they went on to say this is clinically relevant reduction in body weight. It took them 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds. I guess Curtis didn't get the memo because he lost 40 pounds and 52.5 inches in 30 days. What's the insanity that we're creating here? Why are the majority of you still going to go back and count calories and your macros and carb recycling and intermittent fat, time restricted eating and Cornish and zone and lose weight for your blood type? You know that whole thing is a total myth? Google it. There's no evidence of anybody ever doing any scientific proof on lose weight for your blood type. They can't find an author. They can't find the researchers supposedly who did it. And yet lots of people are doing that. I'm only laughing because it's so sad. We're still at 1,000 likes? Really? Can we get some taps and get some more likes up there? I mean, am I not giving you valuable information? Rita joined, Ed Curry joined, me, Lemon, Del Monte, Eddie, Magic Carpet, Alex, Laura, Cindy, My Perspective, Kelf again, Mr. Montana. Great, we're getting a few more taps. Come on, everybody. If you like the content, just tap on the screen. It helps the algorithm. We want to be able to reach more people. I mean, I'm sure you have a brother or sister or cousin or someone you work with or go to church with. They're in a dilemma. What are they doing? What are they doing? They're doing these diets, counting, they're going to, 2/3 of them are going to weigh more than when they started. You could stop that. Or maybe it's you. I mean, this is just so insane what we're doing. Joanna, Cynthia, user. Paul J, hello, you came on twice, like the live. Again, can we get some more taps? 1,000? I've been going almost 45 minutes and we only have 1,000 likes. Who else is showing you this? I'd love for someone to put in a comment. Who else is showing you medical proof? Who would it be? I mean, when you look at someone like Julie, that's 35 pounds in 37 days with no There we go. Now we're getting some hearts. Come on, everybody. Tap on that screen for me. Come on, help me out here. We're serving you. You're not serving us. We're serving you. This is free medical proof. I'm going to put it in the chat at the bottom, the website you all can go to. You don't have to listen to me anymore if you don't want to. Health Conversation. So what I'm putting in the chat is the physical, this is the website where you can go for free and we won't contact you. See it there at the bottom, everybody, the new Health Conversation? Somebody put a yes that you can see it just so I know. Sometimes you can't read it for whatever reason, I don't know. But my point is, if that's real, why wouldn't you go investigate it? Again, I'd love anybody to answer me. They won't. They never do. I understand. Somehow they think I'm some mean person. I'm a nice person. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world, did 20 shows on PBS, did 1,500 live lectures around the world at universities and hospitals and towns. But it didn't mean anything for 22 years. In the medical world, it meant zero. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial studies. We had theories. We had anecdotes, we had before and afters, but we didn't have any medical proof until about 15 months ago when these studies started to come out. They take a long time. They're on human beings. They're not on mice or rats or scientific paper. Nobody else on the whole internet has one shred of medical evidence that I've ever seen. Enlighten me. If you can find one, show me a peer-reviewed human trial study on all of these doctors and chiropractors, dietitians and nutritionists. Nice people. But it's all nonsense. Without a peer-reviewed human trial study, it doesn't mean a thing. It means zero. Zero. D.A. Wright, RN. Hello, D.A. Wright. I think maybe you were on a week ago or something, if I remember correctly. How about menopause and losing weight? This is unbelievable. Listen, okay, so we got health professionals on here. Listen to this. We have people with no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no gallbladders. We have people with kidney transplants. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, making any medical proclamations. This does such wonders for women in menopause. Massive decrease in night sweats and mood swings. And weight, of course, is one of the big ones. It's one of the biggest complaints we get. I mean, would you be happy? Who was that asked me the question? So, Deanna, be honest with me, if you don't mind, okay? Just play, and this is live. This isn't pre-recorded. You'll know because I'm asking this question. If you wanted to lose 20 pounds, you weren't on this podcast today, you don't know anything about this, on the best diet, what would be your expectation? In other words, what would make you happy? I lost 20 pounds in what period of time? I'm always curious to ask people that. Or DA Wright, my RN that's on here, and I know there's other health professionals. I want to know what people would say, because it shows that we're such a low expectation now society, because the methods we have to combat this crisis. It's not even a crisis. I mean, Johns Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. Does that sound like diets are working to any of you? So 2 to 3 months would be great. So how excited would you be with that, Deanna? Do the math. That's 5 pounds a week. Now, even better, look at Julie, Deanna. Look at this. How about 35 pounds in 37 days? Or this is the daughter of a friend of mine. It's not photoshopped. Wait till you see April. Look at that, Deanna. 60 pounds in 3 months. I mean, what do you think? Yeah, excited. But what do you think about that? Deanna, can I ask you a question? Any of you can answer. Is that the same woman, or did we substitute a different model? Did we bring somebody else in the same dress? So Deanna, really, do you think it's the same girl? Do you? Any of you, answer. It's great. I understand, and especially with the health professionals, they get really skeptical. But you have to know that when you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, it's irrefutable evidence. They've already been vetted by the top medical doctors and research to get peer-reviewed, published in these big journals. It's not a game. It's not some trick. It's not a marketing ploy. It's a really, really big deal. And when you see an older gentleman like this, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month, and look at his lab work. A1C from 8.4 to 6.4 in a month, and triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days, and look at his stomach. By the way, all these, no one was allowed to exercise. Not one person exercised. Why? Because the researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier, and they made them wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. They're not against exercise. Let me be clear. Don't get mad at me. Let me finish my sentence, okay? I know that I'm like the canary in the coal mine. I know it. I do. But I go and look on social media. I can't find anybody with peer-reviewed human trial studies. And so what your program entails a little bit. Yeah, I'll go way into it for all of you. Okay? So first I need to explain to you why diets. Well, first of all, if any of you are counting calories, stop. Because I'm still waiting for someone to give me the definition of a calorie. In a year, 2 people have gotten the definition right. Okay, we'll come back to that in a moment. All your body runs on is one thing. It has nothing to do with calories. You know what that is, everyone? Nutrition. This sounds too simple. The solution that these researchers this was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, voted the #1 researchers in the world for 40 years, 100 studied, thousands of people. They don't have any products. There's no products involved here. This is food. What you do to yourself on a diet unknowingly is when you reduce the amount of food you're consuming, what else do you reduce? Nutrition. When the brain figures out there's not enough nutrition to run all the organs, the brain, the kidney, the liver, the heart, what does it do? It freaks out, goes in starvation mode, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells, and turns to your muscles for fuel. And that does 2 of the most unhealthy things you could ever do to yourself. #1, you slow down your metabolism. That's why you lose weight initially on these diets, then it trickles, then a plateau, then you quit the diet, you come off, you gain everything back, and you go look for a new diet. As bad as that is, the thing that makes you the most unhealthy by losing lean muscle, it also slows down your immune system. One of the worst things that can happen in cancer is people lose weight. And sadly, I can address this. I promise I'll come back, but I want you to understand the significance of losing lean muscle. So my younger brother in 2011 was diagnosed with kidney cancer. My brother was 6'4". From the time he was diagnosed until he passed away, it was about 8 months. And when my brother passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. When you hear the term skin and bones, that was skin and bones. My brother basically lost all his lean muscle mass. So when you lose lean muscle mass, it compromises your own immune system, okay? And in a world, we just went through COVID, et cetera, do you think maybe having the strongest immune system possible? So these diets are making you unhealthy. Maybe that makes you mad, maybe you don't believe it. That's what's happening. So the researchers said, okay, what we need to do is forget about calories, forget about everything. We need to go and find food sources that first and foremost had huge amounts of nutrition, not huge quantities. In other words, you didn't have to eat like 10 apples to get the nutrition that you need. So her and everybody else, they gave her a grocery list, literally grist of proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits that were based on not calorie count, but serving sizes, okay? You got it? 30% of what you would purchase from your grocery store, okay? You get the list. But the other 70%, here's what made it work. There were other researchers, you don't buy anything from the researchers, you don't buy anything from us, but these other researchers for 20 years had gone around the world to these remote areas, finding foods with huge amounts of nutrition. And some of the nutrients they brought back were being taken by people living to be 100 years old and hardly ever getting sick. So those foods came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, Bangladesh, and other exotic areas around the world. So now the researchers had the food that everybody's going to consume. Remember, there's no product. This is not some product, okay? This doesn't exist. And so they now had the ingredients, right? 30% from the grocery store, 70% from around the world. Then what they did, they created 2 new ways of consuming the food. The first one, 5 days a week, you would have, ready for this, everyone? 4 meals a day. What? Yeah, 4 meals a day. Starting your breakfast with these exotic foods from around the world. No food from the grocery store for breakfast. Lunch, all from the grocery store. Dinner, all from the grocery store list. And then after dinner, a 4th meal from these world's most perfect, these exotic foods. 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. 2 days a week, she and everybody else did something called, that these researchers invented, called intermittent, notice the word, nutritional fasting. Not intermittent fasting, not time restricted eating, not water fasting, none of that stuff. So in those days, she was consuming those exotic foods, nothing from the grocery store, 8 times a day. She was literally eating every hour and a half over, what was that, 12 hours. Now the proof was also at the end of 30 days, hunger in people went down 41% in 30 days. And in 2 weeks, people's cravings all but went away. But that's not even the good part. The good part was this: in a month's time, people's blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides all came down dramatically. But the big one was inflammation. We've got medical people in here that'll back me up on this. The underlying cause now in the medical world of every disease is inflammation. They measured it. It went down 25% in a month. None of these silly diets have moved the needle a point, ever. None, zero. Because this isn't a diet. You know what this is? It's a detox. Surprise! This is a new medical syndrome that every person in the world, including everybody on this call, you have this syndrome whether you know it or not. What does it mean? The T stands for toxic chemicals, the D for deficiency of nutrition, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw, that's me. I did discover it, but that doesn't make any difference. What we now know that we didn't until 2005, as we're drinking, breathing, and eating, living our normal lives, we're ingesting chemicals. And our body, in order to protect us, first presents the chemicals to our livers. Our livers is now overwhelmed that they estimate about 35% of Americans have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and that's not from drinking. So what our body does once the liver can't handle it anymore, it takes the toxin and stuffs it inside your visceral fat. That's the fat around the organs. You can see it in her stomach on day 1. That's the visceral fat. And see, your fat cells, they're always lying to you when they say you can burn fat. This is a fat burning diet. This is a fat burner. Go and get exercise and burn fat. No such thing. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells. And the only way to reduce fat cells is either through liposuction or through surgery. Well, in these medical studies, this was crazy. In 8 weeks with no exercise, people shrank their visceral fat by 33%. Not 1 ounce, not 1 second of exercise was allowed. They even wore Fitbits. At the same time, in just a month, their lean muscle mass increased 6 to 9%. You can see it right there, day 1, day 30. Look at her hips up. Look at how much that shrank. So this isn't some gimmick. This isn't something we're making up. That is not photoshopped. So Deanna, what do you think about that? Oh, so I'm getting some, thank you. Thank you, DA Wright. That's really nice. I always get a little, I'm always a little cautious, although DA Wright, I have written 4 best-selling books with some top medical doctors in the world. So I'm very much attuned to, allopathic medicine. I'm not opposed to it in any way. But, I like it. Good, Deanna. And for all of you, Whitey, and also for DA Wright, the proof is here you can all go, it's free, New Health Conversation. Do you all see it there on the bottom, Deanna, or somebody, can you give me a yes, please? Maggie M., what is the program? Will you please explain? Yeah, I just did, but I'll do it again for you, Maggie. Just give me 1 more second. I just want to finish up. So you and everybody else, I want you to see all the medical proofs of the New Health Conversation. So Maggie, how did she do that? She did it not by counting calories. She did it not by being on a diet. This protocol, there's no products. This is food and new ways of consuming food. Okay, let's just start with that. But you need to understand, Maggie, it was invented by the top weight loss, nutrition physiologists in the world for 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people. They figured this out. Here's why your diet doesn't work, Maggie. I'm not sure if you want to share how much weight you want to lose or what you've tried in the past and why you might be interested in this. But the difference here is, Maggie, it's backed by 10 peer-reviewed medical studies in the biggest medical journals in the world, proving it's safe and proving it works. So what they basically did or figured out was the reason diets fail is they miss the most important thing to the human body, and that's nutrition. When you go on a diet, Maggie, I don't care what diet it is, you're reducing the quantity of food you're consuming. When you do that, which I've never told you before, goes without saying, you're reducing nutrition. When your brain figures out there's not enough nutrition, it triggers the starvation mode in you, prevents you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel, slowing down your metabolism. That's why you gain all the weight back on these diets. But worse, by losing lean muscle, Maggie, you also compromise your own immune system. So the researchers said, wait a minute, we need to concentrate on one thing, nutritional density. What does it mean? It means we're going to find food that had large amounts of nutrition, but not necessarily, well, in order to get the same amount of nutrition, you could eat less food. That's what it meant. So I'll give you an example. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, from 30 years ago to today, they estimate to equal the same nutrition of one apple from 30 years ago, you got to eat about 8 apples today. Well, obviously that wouldn't work, right? So the researchers, they put together a food list of foods they found that had higher levels of nutrition, but only 30% of what she consumed or you'd consume or you would buy from the grocery store, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits, but based on serving size, not calories. Only 30% of what you're going to consume. Maggie, the other 70% of the food you consume came from other researchers. These researchers are us. We don't sell you anything. We don't have any products to sell you. You buy directly from the suppliers. And those suppliers had gone around the world for 20 years to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. They found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts by volume. Some of the nutrients that are in this are being taken by people around the world that are living to be 100 years of age. And the problem is that some of these nutrients, it's not just a question, they're in smaller quantities in North America. Some of these nutrients don't even exist. They're just not available to us, all right? So they had the foods now, Maggie. They had 30% from the grocery store. You'd get a grocery list, and the other 70% you buy directly. Then they created 2 new ways for you to consume the food. 5 days a week, you'd have 4 meals a day. You start with the world's most perfect meal, that's breakfast. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, the world's these exotic foods. So imagine on a diet, Maggie, you're eating 4 times a day. But it's not based on the quantity. It's not based on calories. It's based on the amount of nutrition, okay? Then 2 days a week, you do something, listen to me carefully, intermittent, listen to the word, intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating, none of that nonsense. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, Maggie, but listen to this. Then they had her, and what you do, you would eat 8 times a day. What? Yes. You'd be eating these exotic foods about every hour and a half over the course of 12 hours. Well, look at the result. Maggie, unless that's Photoshopped, I'd love for you to comment. What do you think about 21 pounds, 38 inches in 30 days? What would you say about that? Because most people say in 2, 3, 4, 5 months to lose 20 pounds. We all know. Get a pound a week, that's about what it would be. It'd take you 20 weeks. She did that in 30 days. 1 week. 1 month, 4 weeks, not 20 weeks. Doesn't that excite all of you to see that? It's not Photoshopped. And then for all of you, yeah, I agree, Sherry. Now, Sherry, did you hear the explanation of how and why it works? And what do you think about that? I'd love for you to comment, Sherry. How long would you give yourself to lose? Oh, you did. You heard. And again, if you don't mind, to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Anybody can answer it, but I just find it very, very interesting. I love this concept. It makes so much sense. Great, Sherry. And Sherry, do you understand? Do you see the website right above your head, the New Health Conversation? Let me show you also in the beginning when I first started. You're tired of yo-yo diets. I guess some of you are. But look, right above my head there in blue, see the New Health Conversation, no spaces. That's the website. When you go there, Maggie or Sherry or any of you, 2 to 3 months, unfortunately, yes, I was going to ask. You were going to ask, about the website. No, not unfortunately. I hope you, but can you see it right there? Can you see? Oh, we got a doctor on here. Dr. Fiber just joined us. Wow. Healthcare practitioner. Good, I got some support. It's not me against the world. But again, I invite you all to go to the New Health Conversation. It's right there, free. If you go there, listen, everybody, Sherry and all of you, if you go there, we're not going to contact you. Let me repeat that. If you go to that website, we're not contacting you. What? Well, it says above free coaching, I know. But once you get to see the medical proof, then you scroll down and then you get a free coach. But listen, let me tell you the best part. It's not a question, can we get the weight off you? That's just silly. Of course we can. But you know the most important part of this? Maintenance. That picture's about 8 years old. She's kept the weight up for 8 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. So Sherry or any of you, how much would that excite any of you to be able to do this? And I invite you all to go to the website. We get so many people jumping on. I can't type fast enough to keep putting in the website. It's at the very bottom for all of you to see, the New Health Conversation. No spaces. That'll take you to the website to show you exactly. Yes, Sherry. Sherry, it's not just you preserve the lean muscle. She gained, along with everybody else, 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Can you imagine if you exercise, Sherry, what would happen? Listen, more people get engaged. This is a live, this is not an infomercial. This is live. It's really not, it's not pre-recorded. I'm the researcher of the researchers, but we're bringing you research. Look at this. Dude, who thinks that's fake? It's okay if you do, but can you take the chance? What if that's real? I mean, it is real, but if that's real, how could you not go to that website? How could you not go to that website and see that? I mean, Sherry, how much would you like to lose? I'm just really curious. And I'll give you a realistic estimate. Oh, the part I didn't tell everybody was maintenance. Okay, what's maintenance? Maintenance is this simple. 1 meal a day from these exotic foods around the world, that's breakfast. 2 normal meals, and then maybe once every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast. Not even to lose weight anymore, but to detox. This, first and foremost, is a detox. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. Now you got me all fired up. Oh, we're at 1,300 likes. Come on, everybody. Can we get a few more taps on that screen? Let's get that up. I've been on now for 1 hour and 6 minutes and only 1,300 likes. I know we can do better than that. Unless you don't like the content, unless you don't like the material. Okay, then I get it, all right? Okay, I had some medical issues the last few years that made me... Okay, so Sherry, how excited would you be in the first 4 days? First 4 days with no exercise, 6 to 8 pounds. Easily in the first month. Because you only had 35 pounds to lose. So I'm going to even under-promise. In the first month, you're going to lose 25 or 30 pounds safely without any loss. Just tell me, Sherry, a word, an excitement, an adjective. How would that make you feel? If you lose 6 to 8 pounds in the first 4 days, do you think you'd be excited about continuing? You'll lose more weight for sure in the first 7 days than in 8 weeks of any diet you've ever been on in your life. Confident, driven. Great. And again, I want all of you to understand. Let me post it again for everybody. The New Health Conversation is the free, right there, New Health, yeah, I spelled it right. You can see it there at the bottom of the chat, everybody. That's the free medical website to go to. See the medical proof. We won't contact you, I promise. And then you can get a free coach. And that coach is going to coach you not just to get your weight off, but teach you how to do maintenance for the rest of your life. You also all get this. This is what the researchers who created this gave to their patients. It's called the Blueprint for Success. And all these yellows here are daily videos from the researchers explaining to you why it's safe and medically how it's working and why they'll never recommend any kind of diet again. And they don't have any products. Now, they did team up with me because they wanted to get this to as many people as possible. And they were willing to come on and instruct you because they created this. They're the creators of it. That's all free. I mean, the only thing you're buying is food. You do have to eat, I think, right? Unless you're on a water fast, which I don't even want to get into how bad that is for you if you go more than about a day. And I know people do fast for religious reasons. I'm not making fun. That's a different situation. But you have to understand what you're doing to your body when you don't have nutrition for, well, really, even after 48 hours, bad things start to happen. You lose lean muscle mass. That's just what happens, okay? So who else would like to ask me a question? Can we get some more taps on that screen? We're at 1,300. I got 1 heart from Bubba, 2 thumbs. Thank you, Bubba. I guess no one else loves me. That's okay. I'm not here to be loved. I'm here to educate you. I'm here to make you aware. I'm here to make a significant change in your lives. Now, for some of the people that didn't hear this before, let me give you a quick overview of the diet scientific evidence now. This is a big study done by Medicare, okay? The title of the study, listen to it carefully, Medicare's Search for Effective Obesity Treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare saying this. They went on to say, our researchers reviewed studies of long-term calories in, calories out restrictive diets to assess whether these diets are an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. Why are you on a diet counting calories? Did you hear what they said? 2/3 you're going to weigh more than when you started. I know why, because that's the only thing you had available to you. It was just a different name. It was keto or paleo or carnivore or Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or Nutrisystem. It just, none of them work, ladies and gentlemen, long term. None of them. I mean, I read to you before from Johns Hopkins Medical School, study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese in 4.5 years. 86% of us. And yet almost all of you are going to go back to what you're doing. I don't know why you won't take advantage. Great, Sherry. Yeah, so go to the website and look around, and then if you like, scroll down and get a free coach. Okay, Sherry, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, evening, because this is going all over the world. I mean, right now it's, what would that be? It's late afternoon in the UK and in the European Union. It's 12 at night, or 7 at night in like Bangladesh and the Far East, and people are sound asleep in New Zealand and Australia. At least I think they are. But who doesn't want to change their life and have a permanent solution? This isn't short term. It's not like, oh, you're going to lose 20 pounds and then you gain it all back. No, not on this protocol. So again, I'm waiting for someone else to ask me a question. Can we get some more taps? We're at 1,300. I'd like to get more taps if we can. Oh, Angela. Okay, here it is right here. I'm going to type it right for you. Here's the site to go to. Hold on. The new health no spaces. I'm going to type it right. Oh, there go some hearts. The new health conversation. So Angela, can you see it? Just give me a yes if you can see the new health conversation. It's not the new health conversation at. That's my TikTok. The one right below that with no spaces, the new health conversation. That's the free medical website where you can go and see all the medical proof, and then you decide if you want to coach. You scroll down. So Angela, it's right below your name there, right below where you said, what site do I go to? I just need to know. I want to make sure you can see it. Otherwise, I'll show you also on the lead in to this whole thing. Well, just to double check. For all of you, you can see above my head there in blue, the new health conversation. That's the website to go to see the medical proof. And if you like what you see, you can scroll down and get a free coach. And it's not a gimmick. The coaching really is free. It's 100% free. So would anybody else like to ask me a question? I mean, and then when you look at someone like Julie here, everyone, that's 35 pounds in 37 days. And look at the change in her body. Now, you may think it's photoshopped. It's not. It's the same woman. That's basically 5 weeks and 2 days and 35 pounds. How much would that excite anybody? Oh, you see it now. Good, Aunt. Okay. That's why I asked Angela, because sometimes people can't see it. And then also, Angela, also for everybody else, you can also see it there above my head. Can you see it above my head too, Angela, the new health conversation? See it, and it's a darker blue on the light blue background above where it says presented by Peter Greenlaw. And then above that, free coaching. How do you get the free coaching? Scroll down and you get a free coach. We won't contact you. I'm telling you, Angela or anybody else, we will not contact you if you go to that site. But Angela, are you a little bit curious? Are you a little bit excited? Because if that's, obviously, if that's real, I didn't even tell everybody the best part. Now, don't mishear what I'm saying. You're going to buy a month's worth of food, 30% from your grocery store. What you're spending last month, figure 30% of what you spent, you buy the foods that these researchers show you to buy, right? The other 70% of the food you're buying come from these exotic locations around the world. The suppliers who supplied or will supply 70% of the food to you, they offer you a 100% money back guarantee in the first month. No questions asked. How amazing is that? Let me repeat that. You're going to buy, the program is based on food. There's no products to buy. So you get a grocery list of what to buy at the grocery store: proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. And then the other 70% come from other suppliers who found food groups in Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand that had huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. And those suppliers, so 70% of what you're spending, if it didn't work, you don't like it, doesn't matter, they'll give you all your money back in the first 30 days. That's why it says, if you go to the website, 100% money back guarantee, that's from those suppliers. I need to clarify that, because a lot of times, well, you said it was free. No, I think I said clearly, the coaching is free. You have to, don't you have to eat for a month? See, that's why this gets so crazy, because people are so used to, like, you need to buy a product, you need to buy a recipe, you need to buy a cookbook. No, The only thing you're buying that you're paying for is the food you're going to eat. All right? Oh, wonderful. Wow. So, D.A. Wright, I'm going to put, do you see the website where you can go to, D.A. Wright? Because as a healthcare professional, you earn the right to be as skeptical as you want. But do you agree? I mean, you don't have to agree, but does it impress you the fact there's 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies as a health professional? Does that you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a really big deal, right? I want to make sure I spelled it right. So D.A. Wright, number one, can you see it? I put it right under your name, the New Health Conversation. But I'm just curious, from your perspective as an RN, yes, you're saying it's a really big deal to have peer-reviewed human trial studies. And yes, you can see the New Health Conversation. And again, DA, when you go there, we're not going to contact you. We rely on the peer-reviewed human trial studies, the medical evidence, including an interview you want to watch with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, who he and his team created this. And when you hear, it's just amazing. I mean, they also talk about the shots and how they're not really big proponents of the shots, but that's another story. I'm not against the shots. I said that before. They're helping diabetics, they're helping people that are, obese, but are they really working in the long run? No one knows. All I know is that the people coming off the shot, for whatever reason they can't afford it, they're gaining as much as a half a pound a day. Because all of you need to realize that the shot works by doing what? Slowing down the food moving through your digestive tract. So code word, you eat less food. But what they're not telling you, when you get less food, you get less nutrition. When you get less nutrition, that triggers the starvation mode in the brain, and it burns your muscles for fuel. I mean, I read earlier, I don't know if you were on D.A. Wright, from New England Journal of Medicine, a 68-week study, a year and 4 months, once weekly semaglutide. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. It's right in the study. Well, she didn't get the memo, apparently, because she lost 21 pounds in 30 days, not 68 weeks. But everybody now has a choice. You didn't have it before this podcast, I don't think. And we're at 1,300 likes. Come on, let's get to 2,000. I've been on for an hour and 17 minutes. Somebody wish I'd shut up, I know, and go away. I'm not going away, because there are people that have a right to see this. So I just hope that all of you, look, this is for your health, your longevity, your future. If you think you're going on a diet to lose weight and keep it off, good luck. I know it's summer and everybody's excited now. I can't believe Memorial Day is over already. Wow. Next thing we know, it'll be the 4th of July. I hate that, because summer goes by too fast. I live in Colorado, and we can get snow in September, so we cherish the summertime, So who else would like to ask me a question? Because I'm gonna, let's see, I've been an hour. I'll go maybe another 5 or 6 minutes. Now, also today, let everyone of you know, I'll probably do another live around, say, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today. I've got normally I do a couple of them in the morning hours and at least 2 in the afternoon late afternoon, early evening, but today I'm tied up. I've got more conference calls I have to do right after this. But I will, yeah, figure around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'll come on and do another podcast. Who else would like to ask me a question? Or not? Come on, we're still stuck at 1,300 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen if you like the content? If you don't, then you're on the wrong podcast because we're not giving you, not giving you a bunch of fluff. If you want fluff, there's plenty of people on. Isn't it interesting to all of you? Just think about this question. Of all the people you're following, of all these influencers, medical doctors, chiropractors, dietitians, nutritionists, fitness coaches, health coaches, weight loss coaches, whatever, how come none of them have one shred of medical evidence? Not one shred. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever even consider it? Because it's true. That's what, I mean, you can't find it. You cannot find medical evidence that I've ever seen on any, and they're really nice people, well-meaning, and I'm not going to disparage them, but I'm just stating the obvious. I think that's okay, isn't it? I'm not giving you my opinion. I mean, if I go and see them present or go to their website and they don't have any peer-reviewed human trial studies, I go, well, they don't have any peer-reviewed human trial studies. And why is that a big deal? Because it's the highest level of scrutiny in all of medicine. A DA Wright confirmed that. She's an RN. She went to medical school. She learned all this stuff. And I don't think she's prescribing any drugs to anybody that don't have peer-reviewed human trial studies. It's as high as you can go in medical research. We can't do more than that. There's no standard above a peer-reviewed human trial published study. Again, I'm still waiting for anybody else to ask me a question. We're still stuck at 1,300 likes. Can we get some more tap on that screen to get more likes if you like the content? Also, I want to share with all of you, if you do have a friend, a relative, someone you care about, significant other, they can go to the website for free. They don't have to come on one of my podcasts. That website, the new health conversation that you all can see there, is for the world, okay? It's for the whole world to see it and experience the medical proof. The finally, the absolute answer for obesity, overweight, and to be able to maintain it. This protocol is called R2M. So it's not just that Kristen lost, 21 pounds and 38 inches a month. She's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. The same with my friend's daughter. I mean, look at that, everyone. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist. Has anybody ever seen anything like that? Ever? 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 So I'm going to go about 3 more minutes. If anybody has a last question, please put it in. Oh, we got the 1,400. Hello, Dr. Fiber. Thanks for being on today. Would anybody else like to ask me a question before I shut this particular podcast down? I don't know if you're all shy, that people had to go to work, they're whatever they did, they're disappearing. That's okay. Dr. Fiber, nice smiley face. That's great. That's great. So we have a medical doctor right there on. And Dr. Fiber, just put a yes or a no. Is it true that you're not aware of any other weight loss health protocol with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies? Just give me a yes or a no. I mean, no, you're not. I mean, you're not aware. No, you're not aware of any other protocol with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Okay. So DA Wright, let me ask you a question. And it's kind of like you already kind of know the answer, but before this, okay, look what the doctor's saying, nothing else out there. Okay, so DA Wright, if you were going to lose that 50 pounds, oh, you're saying, but if you didn't know about this, okay, I'll come back to that in a moment, but be honest with me. 50 pounds based on everything you knew before you came on here today. How long would you have given yourself and been really happy if that were to occur? Please tell me, and then I'm going to come back to you and tell you whether how realistic I think that is. One year, okay. So All right, dear, right, here's the numbers, okay? 50 pounds in the first 4 days, easily 50 pounds. You could lose between 8 and 10 pounds in just 4 days. Now, tell me how much that would excite you. Now, let me keep going. Easily, in the first month, you're going to lose at least 25 pounds. 50 pounds on this protocol. If it took you more than 10 weeks, then we've done something wrong. I know that sounds crazy to you, but 5 pounds a week on this is absolutely nothing. So now tell me, how excited would that make you? So let's do the math, okay? So June, July, let's say before Labor Day. Before Labor Day, you could be down 50 pounds. How much would that change the rest of your year and your life? And keep in mind, DA Wright, that it's going to be sustainable. That's the main thing I want you to, it's not a question, can we get the weight off you? It's teaching you how to maintain it. I mean, how many patients do you come in contact with, DA Wright, that would give anything to even know about this information? That's why we have so many health professionals joining us now in this. It's a movement, the new health conversation. That's really what it is. Because everybody's saying, this is the most amazing thing we've ever seen. These researchers who created it, they said, if you go to the website, you'll see the interview. It's 60 minutes, it'll change your life. And he says they'll never recommend a traditional diet to any of their patients ever again after 40 years of research. They said it would be unethical. They said, Peter, why would we put someone on a diet where it's going to take them 8 weeks to lose the weight that they can lose in a week on this, and they're losing up to 40% of their lean muscle mass? And here, they're gaining lean muscle. Oh, HR. Okay, I'm going to explain it to you. Give me 1 second. So DA, life-changing. So DA, I assume you're going to go to the website. Okay, I need this new lady here, or I think it's a lady. What's the protocol? Okay, let me explain it to you. Let's just concentrate on her for a moment. That's 5 pounds a week, 38 inches. Here's what they did. The researchers who created this, just to let you know, hard ZNR2. It's not based on counting calories. There's no products involved. It's food. It was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world after 40 years of research. And what they concluded was simple. Well, it took them 40 years to figure out. The reason diets don't work is the body can't count calories, doesn't know what a calorie is. It's the most ridiculous thing anybody's ever concentrated on. The only thing your body cares about is one thing, and that's nutrition. So what they did, they said, wait a minute, we got to change the dynamics. So we're going to go and look for foods that have high amounts, high concentrations of nutrition, not high concentrations of volume. So only 30% of the food you would buy, that she bought, that you would get, absolutely comes from the grocery store. You'd get a grocery list, literally a shopping list, proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they would give you serving sizes. Only 30% of the food you're going to consume. The other 70% comes from foods you can't buy in your grocery store. Those researchers who got these foods went to Russia, to Mongolia, physically went there, to Tibet, to South America, New Zealand, and brought back these nutrients over the last 20-some years that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts, relatively small amounts in quantity. So now they had the ingredients, right? 30% from the grocery store and 70% from these foods around the world. Then they invented 2 different ways for you to consume them. That's what she did. 5 days a week, she literally had 4 meals a day, if you can believe that. She did. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. And there's no option here. It's not like you're going to have 3 meals. No, you got to have 4. This is what they prove this works, right? Then 2 days a week, you do something called, listen to me carefully, intermittent nutritional fasting. Notice the word nutritional. You're not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, but you consume these exotic foods 8 times a day. What? Yeah. You're eating every hour and a half. Now, all I can tell you is that's the result, but it gets better. The only reason to do this, HRDNZ, is maintenance. In my case, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This picture you're looking at her, that's 8 or 9 years ago. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Let me show you another one that is just even more remarkable. This is exactly 37 days, 35 pounds. What do you think about that? Look at the change in her body composition and her size. Where's the loose skin? I mean, look at her legs get smaller. Everything. This is unbelievable. And that's what, by the way, no one was allowed to exercise. No one allowed to exercise. Is that, what would you comment about that HRD? What would you say about that picture? And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. And this is, look at this. How about 60 pounds in 3 months? 60. I mean, unless you think we've changed models, changed girls, we didn't. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist. Has anyone ever seen anything like that before? And then I'll show you one example, medical improvements. Well, he lost 40 pounds in a month. That's not a misprint. 40.8 pounds to be technical, and 52.5 inches in 30 days. But look at his lab work. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides from 242, they dropped to 124. That's 30 days. 30 days with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise. They made him wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising because not that the researchers were against exercise. Hell, I mean, they've worked with Navy SEALs and Green Berets and Olympic athletes and NFL football players, so not against exercise. But in this particular case, they didn't want exercise to be a factor. Otherwise, people say, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, they had to isolate this new protocol that they invented, that they don't sell. There's no products involved. It's just food and a new way of consuming food. And those are the results. And you can go see all of this proof, okay, HRD at, I'm typing it in for it's at the very bottom, the new health conversation. That's a free website. We won't contact you if you go there. The only way we'll contact you is if you decide you like the proof, scroll down and get a free coach. And the coaching's free, not just initially, but all the way, including teaching you how to maintain the weight you're going to lose and keep off for the rest of your life. It makes no sense to do it otherwise. I mean, you can go, well, you're not going to lose this kind of weight. I mean, you're not going to, I mean, do you know of any diet ever you were on where you lost 21 pounds in a month, 5 pounds a week, and she only had 35 pounds to lose? That's an important point to keep in consideration. It's not like she had 100 pounds and she lost 20 pounds in a month. Does that make sense? So does that answer your question? And DA Wright, I'm sure you see the website where you're going to go, correct? That's very important for all of you. But HRDN, I want to make sure you can see the website if you choose to go there. Because we're not going to, if you go there, we're not contacting you. We don't do that. We don't have time. We're scientists, we're researchers, we're coaching people, teaching people, we're training coaches. That's our Achilles heel. We don't have enough coaches. I'll be quite honest with you. As this thing continues to grow as it is, that's but thank goodness people are really motivated. They're having incredible results, and then their sister wants to do it, their brother, their cousin. So we've got lots of people in training that we think will be able to keep up with the demand. We'll see what happens. For right now, we're okay. If you fill out the form, normally you'll get contacted within maximum 24 hours, maybe a little bit less. That's up to you. We're not controlling that. If you go to that website, we're not calling you, we're not reaching out, we're not texting you unless you request a coach from us. Fair enough? How much care? West Coast Nurse. Hello, West Coast Nurse. So, West Coast Nurse, I'd love for you to comment. Do you think that's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's unsafe? Do you think it's AI? Do you think it's Photoshopped? I mean, what do you think about it? I'd love for you to comment. West Coast, I just said hello to you. I have another nurse right above you there, DA Wright, an RN. I'm not sure what part of the country she's in. She wants to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. Let me show you one more thing. So that's Kristen, that's like you can see the 30 days. And then look at Julie here, West Coast. That's 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body composition. Tell me as a nurse you've ever seen anything like that. That's 37 days, 35 pounds. I'm going to show you a third one. This is the daughter of a friend of mine. I know her. How about this, West Coast? Sam Rob 23. Good morning. Good morning. Well, you must be in California or something. Well, no, I'm in Colorado. It's 7:26. But West Coast Nurse, what do you think about that? And also Sam Rob 23. What do you think about that? 60 pounds, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. There is no loose skin, DA Wright. That's the whole point. That's why I wanted you to see Julie. I mean, look at Julie. I mean, with 35 pounds, she should have some loose skin. Where's the loose skin? There isn't any. DA, right, is that amazing? Is that just, but look at, even on this older gentleman, and even though he's got his shirt on, you can see, hold on, everybody. Where do you see his stomach? Let me find it for you. Curtis, where's Curtis? Oh, there it is. Look at that. West Coast nurse, Sam Robb, DA, 40 pounds in a month. But look at his stomach. That's with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise. No one. How crazy is this, everybody? Unless you think it's fake, unless you think it's Photoshop. But what you can't make up, well, I guess we could. Look at his lab work, his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124 in 30 days. I got 2 or 3 nurses on here and a doctor. Please comment. How unbelievable is that? Wow, that amazing. Yes, Sam and Rob, exactly. No, God, no, keto. Oh my God, keto's the worst thing you could ever do. Keto is horrible. Let me read from the studies. This is in Nutrients on keto, low carb diets. Wait till you hear this. The analysis of low carbohydrate diets showed that low carb diets account for a huge reduction in lean muscle mass and increase osteoporosis risk in obese individuals. It's not a diet. There are no products. If you're on any diet after this podcast today, why? You think keto's ever produced anything like that? It's nonsense. Along with all diets don't work. Not because I say so. My God, here's Medicare. Listen to this, West Coast nurse. Listen to this. Oh, I'm in the Bahamas. Okay. But West Coast nurse, listen to this. Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether calories in, calorie out is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on diets. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. This is all nonsense, West Coast. None of these diets work. This is not a diet. I'm going to explain to everybody one last time, how did they do it? Let's go back to Christian for just a moment. Let me ask you something. If you wanted to lose weight, West Coast nurse, how excited would you be about 5 pounds a week? Please put it in the chat as I explain to you exactly what they did. This was, first of all, it was invented by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world for 40 years. They did 100 studies, thousands of people, and concluded diets, didn't matter what the diet is, they don't work. And the reason diets don't work is pretty simple. It has nothing to do with not counting carbohydrates or calories. No, it only had to do with nutrition. And see, one of the problems with keto is when you limit the amount of carbohydrates, and by the way, the carbohydrates on this protocol that the researchers found, they're complex carbs. They're not simple carbs, okay? But the body needs fats, carbs, and proteins. So when you're eliminating carbs, you're making yourself unhealthy. Let's just get that out of the way. So the researchers concentrated on only one thing that the body knows. It doesn't know what calories are. It only knows nutrition. And what happens on diets, when you go on, I don't care if it's keto, paleo, Mediterranean, time restricted, you're reducing the total amount of food you're consuming, or in this case, you're limiting carbohydrates. Well, the brain needs all of those to run all the organs. So think about it. When you go on a diet and reduce the amount of food you're consuming, you're reducing the amount of fuel, nutrition. And that causes the body to go in starvation mode, prevents you from using the energy stored in your fat cells and turns to your muscles for fuel. And that does 2 of the most unhealthy things you could ever do to yourself, West Coast nurse. Number 1, it slows down your metabolism. That's not up for debate. We know that happens. That's why people plateau on these diets and come off the diets again. Everything. But much worse, which you probably know. When you lose lean muscle mass, what else happens? It compromises your own immune system. Yeah, I get really fired up about this. My younger brother in 2011 was diagnosed with kidney cancer. My brother was 6'4". And from the time he was diagnosed until he passed away, it was about 9 months. When he died, he weighed 115 pounds. I saw what happens when the body loses lean muscle. In a cancer patient, when they're losing weight, they're decreasing their immune system. You're going on diets which are decreasing your immune system, just to let you know. So the researchers said, wait a minute, we need to do something different. So voted the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They put together food lists. This is about food. There's no products here. There's no lotions, potions, pills, supplements. Doesn't work like that. 30% of what you would consume or buy in a month, you'd go to your grocery store and you'd have a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, and fruits. Now, instead of giving you calorie counts, they gave you serving sizes because everything was based on the amount of nutrition, not on the volume, not on how much food you had or how little food you had. That had nothing to do with it. Now, here was the other part that was so critical. These researchers found other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition and nutrients that don't exist in soil in North America. Okay? And these foods came from Russia, from Mongolia, from Tibet, South America, New Zealand. Some of the nutrients are what people that are living to be 100 years of age or older. I'm interested in that, right? So now they had the food. 30% from the grocery store you're buying food for a month when you first start, right? And 70% from these exotic foods around the world. Then they invented 2 new ways you consume food that you would learn how to do. 5 days a week, you're going to have 4 meals a day. The complete antithesis of diets. You start with these exotic foods, that's breakfast. Lunch from the grocery list, based on your serving sizes. Dinner from the grocery store list. And a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, called protein pacing. It's patented by the people, these top researchers, who don't have any products, by the way, okay? The other 2 days a week, you do something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Now, don't go sideways on me. It's not fasting. It's not water fasting. It's not time-restricted eating. Although, notice the word nutrition in the middle of it. They invented this. Intermittent nutritional fasting. Fasting with nutrition. Now, how did they do that? No food from the grocery store. None. Zero. Only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time, she and you would eat 8 times a day. Every hour and a half. Do you know in a month, hunger went down in people 41%? You know in 2 weeks, people's cravings were all but gone? That's not even the good part. In 30 days, people's blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, triglycerides, West Coast nurse came down dramatically. But here's the one that will blow your mind. We all know now in medical research that the underlying cause of about every disease out there is inflammation. This is the first time it was ever measured in these studies, ever. It came down 25% in 30 days. So all those little nagging aches and pains and stiffness, it was all gone. And I want to be clear, we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, making any medical proclamations. We're just sharing with you what's printed. It's published in these medical studies. In one of the studies actually was done by Nature Communications, West Coast Nurse and the other medical people, the #1 medical journal in the world, had nothing to do with the weight loss in this program. It was all about gut health. As a matter of fact, the title is Gut Microbiome Remodeling and Metabolic Profile Improves Drastically in Response to Protein Pacing and Intermittent Nutritional Fasting versus Continuous Calorie Restriction. This is not a diet. Well, losing weight, I know that sounds crazy to you. It's just like a throw-in. It's like, but look, tell me, any of you, to lose 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? And how torturous is it to you? How after a month, you're ready to eat your couch. Their hunger went down 41% in a month. People reported when they go on maintenance on this, which is the whole reason to do it, they're spending 25 or 30% less per month than they were spending before they did this because their cravings are gone. It doesn't mean they still can't have pizza or a glass of wine or Triscuits or whatever they want, or barbecue, etc. No, it's about living your life. This is sustainable. Hell, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. There were a lot of Thanksgivings and Christmases and summer parties and cookouts. No, it didn't matter. I know it sounds too good to be true, but the thing that you can argue whatever you want, I suppose, but you can't argue with peer-reviewed human trial studies. They've already been scrutinized by the top medical doctors and researchers in the world. So, West Coast Nurse, you're going to spend about what you spent. So here's the best way to explain it to you, West Coast Nurse. Whatever you bought last month, food, okay, that 30% of that is going to go to the grocery store. Only 30% of what you spent last month. The other 70% pretty much pays for those foods from around the world. Of course, it depends on, if someone's just eating, tea leaves and whatever, that probably isn't going to work. But I'm just talking about a normal consumption of food in a month's time. Most people feel that the total cost is about what they were spending before. But again, 5 pounds. Well, you see it. That's normal. It's set point theory. No, it has nothing to do with set point, believe it or not. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. I didn't see your comment. I'm sorry. Santiba. No, not 5 pounds a day, 5 pounds a week. I wasn't saying 5. I hope I didn't say 5 pounds a day. If I did, I misspoke. So does that make sense, West Coast Nurse? But West Coast Nurse, for all of you, here's the website for all of you to go to. It's free to go there. We're not going to contact you. Conversation. Make sure I spelled it right. Yeah. I'm putting it in the chat, right? West Coast Nurse, right below your name now. See it come up. No spaces. The new health conversation. Go look at the medical proof, including an interview with the #1 nutritional researcher in the world. Wait till you hear what he says and what he says about the shots. I'm not against the shots, by the way. I think they're helping diabetics and they're be a little morbidly obese, but we don't know what the long-term outcome is going to be. And the shots are pretty ineffective. You'll appreciate this, West Coast Nurse. Here's the New England Journal of Medicine, a 68-week study on, in this case, semaglutide, one of the GLP-1s. Now remember, I don't give you opinions. I'm reading from the New England Journal of Medicine. It's right here. You can look it up. This was a 68-week study, a year and 4 months. The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass, and they went on to say this is clinically relevant reduction in body weight. Well, she didn't get the memo, obviously, because she lost 21 pounds in a month. But you see, the bar is so low, they think this is good. And compared to diets, maybe it is. This is not a diet. But if you had the choice, 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds, or 30 pounds in a month, or Julie, let's find Julie again. How about 35 pounds in 37 days, everybody? Look at that, 35 pounds in 37 days. Which one would you choose if you knew it existed? That's the problem. You didn't know it existed until this podcast today. And maybe you think I'm crazy. And if I am, it's okay. The science doesn't care about me. It doesn't care about my tie or my glasses, or you don't like my style. It doesn't matter. The science doesn't care. And you know, as nurses, are you going to give them drugs that weren't peer-reviewed human trial studies? I know you're not. I'm not even saying that. It's the highest scrutiny in medicine is peer-reviewed human trial studies. And my God, this protocol has 10. 10. And all the other studies on diets, there's maybe one, like this New England Journal of Medicine. 32 pounds in 68 weeks, and they're telling you that's relevant because of what they know. They don't know this. That's your opportunity. I mean, West Coast Nurse, how many patients do you see that would do anything to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 15 pounds? I'm sure it's a lot. Am I right? So who else would like to ask me a question? So it's not that it's secret food, nurse, West Coast Nurse, sorry. It's the nutrients, okay? Some of them, I would say here's a better way to think about it. So 40%, 50% of what you would do on this, you chew. The others are liquid nutrition that these, natives from around the world, they make it either in water or they make it as a tea. And that's a much higher absorbability. So there are things like trace ionic minerals, okay? That's not a food, that's a nutrient inside the food that they found in these ancient places. To give you an idea, so many of you don't know what trace ionic minerals are. You've heard of iron, calcium, magnesium. Trace ionic minerals are things like gold and silver and zinc and beryllium and boron and selenium and molybdenum. We need 70. In the best organic food you can buy in North America, you get 20. These researchers found a source with all 70 trace ionic minerals. What else do you need? You need vitamins, but the problem with vitamins is they come in a pill form, and most of them are made in a laboratory. They're synthetic. Not that they don't work, but they're very ineffective. They found a food source that had 21 naturally occurring vitamins. No synthetic anything. And they've had other foods that had something called, the nurses would be familiar with, a probiotic versus a prebiotic. A prebiotic fiber is far superior to probiotics because it colonizes your good gut flora. That's why in this study, not up for debate, in Nature Communications, gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting versus continuous caloric restriction. This is the #1 medical journal in the world saying this massively improved gut health in 30 days. The weight loss is almost the least important part of this whole thing. It's about your health. But look at how much she shrank. Where's the loose skin, everybody? That's why we created the website, because we want you to see the medical proof. Don't believe me. And I'm not trying to impress you. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on PBS. I did 1,500 live lectures around the country in universities and hospitals. They flew me to China. I appeared on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America. And for 22 of my 20 years in the medical world, like West Coast Nurse and RN Wright, et cetera, that meant 0. Why? Because there were no peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Now there's 10 of them that have come out that started, some of them 12 years ago. And they just came out really in the last 15 or 16 months. That's all changed now. Medical doctors and RNs and PAs and nutritionists and dietitians and workout people, they're all running to this because they've never seen anything like that. There's no gym you can produce that kind of a result. I've had numerous trainers tell me that they shoot for 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's going to the gym and doing everything perfect. And we know that that doesn't last. I know this sounds like it's too good to be true, but I guess I'm saying to all of you, why wouldn't you go to the website? It's right there at the bottom of the chat, or I'm going to close out with this. You all can see the website above my head in blue. The New Health Conversation. It's a movement. That happens to be the website. What's on the website? Only medical proof. None of my books are there. We're not going to contact you. There's no buy button. And if you like what you see, scroll down, you see right above in blue, which says the New Health Conversation, right above. Free coaching. It's free the whole time, including teaching you how to do maintenance. And some of you may need to lose 100 pounds. So they'll coach you how long it takes, 5, 6 months, whatever that time frame is. We're not going to abandon you. We don't sell you anything. We don't have any products. We were coached. So it's up to all of you to take the, we're not, look, it's like, even if we bought your gym membership, which we're not, of course, we're not going to do your push-ups. But isn't it worth, aren't you worth investigating, even if you want to prove it wrong, which you can't because there's 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. But aren't you a little bit curious, how in the world did she do that? So anyway, I'm going to sign off. It's been, at least we're almost at 2. Oh, I'm going to say a little bit longer. We got 1,900 likes. Can we get just a few more taps on the screen to get us to 2,000? It would mean a lot to me. Like I said, I've gone 1 hour and 50 minutes now. And I'll probably do another live around 1 Eastern Standard Time today. Oh, now I'm getting some hearts. Good. Let's get some more hearts. Let's get some more clicks. So West Coast Nurse, I hope I answered most of your questions, but the rest you can get answered on the website and then talk to. I mean, honestly, West Coast Nurse, can you take a chance this isn't real? I mean, I didn't even ask you if you want to lose weight or, oh, well, somebody else gave me a rose. Thank you very, very much. Now I'm at 2,000. Whoa, thank you, everybody. That's so nice of all of you. Well, anyway, I hope you'll all share the website, the New Health Conversation. You can see it there with any of your friends, family, loved ones, people you work with, whatever. They deserve to at least be made aware, and then they can decide what they want to do. Because that website, the New Health Conversation, I mean, obviously we got people all over the world that are already on my podcast, right? I'm not bragging. I wouldn't even be doing social media if it wasn't for my youngest son. He convinced me, Dad, you got to do this. I said, no, I'm not doing it. Boy, was I wrong. I mean, I got people in England and Madrid and in Bangladesh and I mean, New Zealand and Australia and people from all over the world that are now coming on to these podcasts, because who else is showing you real medical proof? I mean, West Coast, maybe you're gone, I don't know, but are you aware of any other influencer or any other person showing 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies of this protocol? Of any protocol, sorry, not this one. They wouldn't be doing this one, of course. If you're gone, I get it, but I hope you will go, all of you, to the New Health Conversation. You can see it right there at the bottom. Wow, 2,400. We're really getting a lot of likes now. But the New Health Conversation, and it's above my head for all of you to see. But if you're tired of yo-yo diets, are you? Are you finally said, I'm done with yo-yo diets, and this is not a diet, and you could lose 5 pounds a week safely without the loss of lean muscle mass? Hopefully you'd be excited at that. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off now, and I wish all of you a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever part of the world you're in, okay? Thank you, everybody.